Many K-pop groups exist within a year, be it girl groups, boy groups and co-ed groups, and the sad reality of the many existing is that very few last very long in the industry. It could be because they're a project group not meant to be permanent at all, or maybe it's a group from a smaller budgeted company that disbands after debut or disbands after their first comeback or something, or a group from a bigger budgeted company that disbands randomly for no reason. It could also be a group that gets announced pre-debut but they never actually debut. This leads to an oversaturation because so many companies debut groups and it becomes too much. But through that we get a lot of music that comes from groups of all budget types releasing songs in all types of sounds, good quality or bad quality, even with the MVs too being high quality with a big budget or small budget used, or a horrible looking cheap low budget MV, and you'll never know what you're going to get. What the best part of all these groups that come along, despite the oversaturation and also the fact that there are so many companies that don't know how to make a decent quality song or a good enough MV, is the Nugu smaller budgeted companies that come along debuting groups. They surprise me more than bigger budgeted companies, and it's mainly to do with the music and MVs, or lack thereof in MV. Firstly, there are smaller budgeted companies that come along debuting groups with MVs having great quality alongside the music. And a great example is S2IT, who debuted under Monster Brain. K-Profiles also said they're under TNH Entertainment as well. But specifically focusing on Monster Brain here, if we look at their other groups which are EPTS aka Epic Travels. K-Pop Wiki also says the company debuted other groups like Scarlet, Bulldog and AZM, and this was when the company had other names. But if we look at 3 songs by Epic Travels that are Tab Tab, Harmony and Burnt Out Cake, let me show the MV's video clips for example.
Never stop singing for ya. 너와 만드는 하모니의 발탈. 가끔 섞인 불협화음도 okay. I'm not for you, always on your side. Love is fun talking. Baby, be the taste. Everything's falling down. There's no more 달콤한 마음까지. There's no more from 끝까지.
You'll notice that the songs and MV's video clips have potential despite being obviously Nugu company made. You can tell that Monster Brain puts effort into EPTS for the budget that they have, and that's why when finding out S2IT is a Monster Brain debut as well, I was not surprised, but I do keep rewatching S2's debut song MV because it's so well made. There are also some companies like this, like Yom Entertainment, who shut down due to COVID, that debuted the girl group Florus in 2018 with Florus disbanding in 2021. Yom was great with Florus simply because they released quite a good amount of songs with all of them having music videos. Despite the obvious lower budget, the music was decent and listenable, the MVs were well made, nothing that was terrible in terms of lighting, camera quality, effects etc.
Because of you, 내가 춤추는 이유. Because of you, 내가 노래하는 이유. Because of you.
And overall the group had a good run, giving people to know what their sound is trying to be. Companies like these are great because they work with what they have, and give us a reason to wanna come back to the group, and don't make the group come off as a joke for haters to shit on, leading them to disband. Sure, some idiots might find a reason to hate the group regardless because they always do, but overall the company shows us that they're not some lazy pieces of trash people posing as an entertainment company who gave trainees hope for their idol debut, only to do nothing for the group because everything is sloppy and the company is a scam. Sure, we may never know what goes on behind the scenes of a lot of Nugu companies and what is really happening to idols despite what they show us on camera, but for this video I'm trying to just focus on the music side of things in terms of the songs and MVs. Secondly, there are companies that come along debuting groups with lower quality but then they improve later on. If we look at the example of My Darling, a girl group who debuted under AL Entertainment in 2018 before disbanding in 2020. They had a pre-debut song, I Like You, released in 2017, which was low quality and had no MV. When they debuted in 2018 with Dramatic, the song released with an MV that didn't look completely terrible, and the song was also better quality compared to I Like You, but the MV still had some flaws with some scenes being too bright for example, and the song despite being better quality still needed more mixing.
네 처음 본 그날부터 난 딱 알았어 눈에 알아봤어 yeah. 시작됐어 너와 내 드라마 어서 말해봐 너도 나와 같은 맘이라고.
Then when they came back with their last song Kung Kai Dda in 2019, the MV was great quality along with the song being amazing quality too. This was their best made song and MV yet.
엄마 몰라요 몰라 내일도 내일 곁에 겹쳐와 엄마 잘 가요 나는요 오늘을 볼 테니 준비하시고 붕치다.
These types of companies are amazing because they come into the scene poorly looking, cheap and unprepared, but then improve as they go on and show us that despite their budget constraints they do not give up and continue to try their hardest. Comparing smaller budgeted companies to bigger budgeted companies, the reason why I say that smaller budgeted companies are cooler is because companies in K-pop who come along debuting groups with bigger budget MVs and high quality songs with the ability to promote on live shows easily, make comebacks often, and things like these show us that these companies have the finances to get the best producers and MVs to make their music and MVs look and sound high quality and expensive. They show us that they don't have to worry financially about providing for their groups and have better chances of getting noticed, which leads to more fans and therefore leads to the group making more money. Sometimes these companies may come into a decline in terms of budgeting, not having enough for comebacks, but most of the times looking at examples like Trends who released a new song today.
Take a step, I'm back on track 벅차오는 숨으로 비틀대는 춤을 춰 한순간 휘청일 때
They have made quite a lot of music with B-sides alongside music videos as well since their debut in 2021. Also looking at Heart of Woman who debuted this year, 2026, they've released so many MVs besides their debut song, which are all for B-sides I'm guessing for their debut album released alongside their debut. There are companies like these existing, already coming into the scene loaded enough to give their groups the best without just spending a lot on one song and never coming back again for a while, which is the case for many smaller budgeted companies who debut a group and spend a lot on the debut era only for the group to not be able to release music until months or a year or two later compared to bigger budgeted companies who can do it often easily. So Nugu companies being cooler is because their music feels more like an achievement for the company in my eyes, that, oh, we did all of this on a small budget. Wow, showing us that it's the creative direction that matters more than the money. Bigger budgeted companies can come along and make the most expensive looking MVs, but at the end of the day if the MV is just the budget, then is there anything interesting? And this is not to say that bigger budgeted companies cannot be interesting for the MV because the bigger the budget you have, the bigger the vision you can portray and make it come to life, but having a lack of budget makes the MV again is more of an achievement because of you being able to portray what you wanna portray in the MV within the budget constraints and make it come off as the best that it can be without making it look cheap and laughable. It shows smaller budgeted companies is innovative, creative and having the ability to create something out of nothing. Having loads of money can get you what you want easily, but having a lack of it becomes a $1 and a dream moment, especially if the end result comes out great, and even if it doesn't come out great in the debut, it could come out great in the later releases of the group.